So real talk here, schooling actually important. Kind of. And I only believe that up until like secondary school. I only believe schooling is important up until secondary school. And I'm not talking about in the sense of like conventional grades and all that. I'm talking about in the sense of like the actual schooling experience. And if we're gonna go off like conventional grades and that, I should be the most knowledgeable person on any and everything that's taught in school, because the way I was getting A's and B's was a bit wild. But I can tell you, I did use some backwards methods to pass my WAEC though. Not so much my GCSE, because they're a bit more strict with that in the UK. So I got like very impressive grades on my GCSEs as well. But I can tell you for free that I hardly retained any of the knowledge I got while learning my GCSE and or A levels. And I would say though, the way the current school system works is more about how well you can copy and paste knowledge than how well you learn, or how much you learn, or how effectively the teachers actually did their job and all of that. So it's kind of like holding your breath and trying not to drown before you reach the finish line, and then when you get there you just let go of all the air. You're not out here trying to look for the air and grabbing it back, but you know, I digress. Now I could like go get a long red wig and go on a mad rap about how crazy and unnecessary schooling system is, but I honestly believe that education is important. It's like extremely important. Like up until secondary school, everybody gets taught the basics. So like if we take maths or like basic science or English. With maths, everybody uses maths on a day-to-day counting. I can tell you for free that hella Americans right now are looking at Trump presidency countdown, especially with money. Who doesn't use money, or who doesn't want money? So like everyone knows how to count. So obviously that's like primary school level, but you get a bit more advanced with the thing over time, or especially if you do like business courses and that in secondary school and all of that. Well, with biology, science and all of that, well, yeah, there are day-to-day applications. Like obviously a lot of people know about hygiene and all of that, and probably safe sex. Well, I hope people do know about that and the consequences of unsafe sex. So that kind of is a more secondary school level thing, and I feel that's actually very basic, because that's on an everyday life thing. And with stuff like English and like English lit, well, I guess you kind of read the Romeo and Juliet story, and you know what not to do when you're in love, and how not to be stupid and not to kill yourself because some other girl killed us. Like that whole story was kind of dumb, to be honest. Like the families had beef, and then like anyway, I did enjoy Romeo and Juliet, if you can't tell. But you get taught the basics in secondary school, well, up until secondary school. Now obviously, apart from like textbook knowledge and all the basics, as I've been calling it this whole video, like maths, chemistry, like all of those things, school actually do help in like molding kids and teaching people how to be people, either for good or for evil. Like the way I was bullied, picked on, like disgusted and put off like a lot of things while I was in secondary school was a bit of a madness. And I can go on and on about my secondary school experiences, and I do have a lot of those stories to tell you guys for Niger Chronicles, which will be back. It's not gone, but in a later video. And I'm not actually trying to endorse bullying or anything, but you know, it is what it is. Survival of the fittest out here in school, and obviously man wasn't top alpha male dog kind of thing. But you know, it helped me, and it helped a lot of people and be molded into the kind of people we are today. And that's just how school is. That's how life experiences in secondary school are. And I can guarantee you that you watching this video, or any other person you meet, will forever talk about how like their moments in secondary school helped them make the person they are today. And even out of personal like people skills and all that, actually not even without that, because that still kind of helps leaving secondary school and get into like the real world. No matter where you want to work as a person, unless you're one of the 5 to 10% that are way more self-made than Taylor Swift's relationship problems, you're gonna need a high school diploma, secondary school diploma, GCSEs or something, depending on the country you're in obviously. But you're gonna need some kind of secondary school qualification to actually begin somewhere in life. Now see, after secondary school, that's where education gets a bit mad. Education pretty much does suck, if I'm gonna be honest. And you get a lot of people being forced to do like A-levels or going to university by either their society, their community, or like their parents, which is a big thing. I have experienced, or I've seen a lot of people who have experienced being pressured into do one thing or another by their parents or their society or just their siblings, and it's not the one. It's not the one, to be honest. Now, the same reason that I feel secondary school is important with the social aspects and everything, that is still very much relevant in like sixth form, college, university, and all of that. But now it's a bit harder because the amount of work you have to do in all these different institutions, so like if you go college or you go sixth form or university, the amount of work you have to do to actually push far is a lot. And if your heart's not in it, if you're not with it 110%, if it's not something you want to do, it's a very, very bad situation to find yourself in. And at the end of the day, what you get is a lot of people who fall into depression, anxiety, have low self-esteem, and in a lot of extreme like cases, extreme but not, sadly not too rare cases, you get like suicides here and there, because the pressure kind of collapses on people because they start comparing themselves to their peers who are in it to win it for that particular thing, but because your particular heart, your goal, your will is not in that line, you start to feel pressure from whoever forced you into doing this, or whatever mentality forced you into doing this. And then this is actually sadly very common in the black community, because we do have a lot of this mentality that we always have to be the best. Like, I'm not saying it's a bad thing, do not get me wrong, but in extreme cases it tends to break down the individual rather than actually build them up. Another big thing to take away from this video, if you are watching it and you are not at university level, do not go to university for bands. Do not go to university because your parents went to university. Do not go to university just because you want to be maybe the first person in your family that went to university. But just don't go to university for bands, because it's not a joke. Like, the amount of work you have to do in any course in uni, ranging from creative arts all the way to aerospace engineering, no matter what course you're gonna do, it is not easy work. It's not light work. It's not light work. Like, don't go to uni for bands. Higher education is not for everybody. Go start an apprenticeship somewhere. Go intern somewhere. In fact, start working even. Do something. But if you're being honest with yourself and university is not for you, do not go to university for bands, because I can guarantee you will not only be wasting your time and money, you might be wasting your whole life. And just it's mad. I can't even, what's the word? My vocab is a bit lacking, but I can't put it forth properly enough as I feel, because I see a lot of people go through this in university right now, like who are in uni, who initially came to uni for a joke thing, like for the experience, for maybe their parents pushed them into doing this and they don't want to do it. And it's wild seeing how mad a lot of people tend to break down under these kind of pressures. And if you are not willing to put in that kind of work for uni, if you are not hard body enough for higher education, do not do it. Please, like, don't do it. Now, I'm not trying to knock anybody who does go into work or an apprenticeship to say it's easier, but I'm just talking about in terms of university right now. So what I would suggest, just across the board, because I'm a very fairy tale guy to some extent, go follow your dreams, like chase what will make you happy, but do not get it twisted. Something my dad always told me, and he's actually pretty much brought me up with this, is the world is not big enough for everybody's dream, but you might be one of those few people who like actually gets to achieve their dream. So try, but while you're chasing your dreams, while you're trying to attain what you want to get, always have some kind of fallback, always have some kind of plan B. So if you feel you can go through the whole university system, but you don't necessarily want to do anything career-wise with university, work towards your dream while you're in university, so you kind of have that backup just in case your dream does not come into fruition. And the amazing thing about going through all these kind of things while you're younger is, if you do fall and you break down or whatever, there's still a lot of time and a lot of room to grow for you as a person. So I would suggest the younger you start on this plan, the younger you are when you start getting it going, the better. And finally, always open your mind up to like the world. Like, be aware of what's going on around you, because if you might be the person that's like, I want to follow my dream, but I don't really know what my dream is. You don't have a passion, or you don't feel like you have a passion. I feel it just hasn't awoken in you yet. So kind of keep your eyes open to the world. Like, I personally didn't know I wanted to do anything media related, like be in front of camera and be behind the camera, until I was 15. And I consider myself really blessed that I was that young when it kind of jumped out of me. So be the kind of person that just keeps your mind open to the world, because you might be in university right now, you might be graduated, you might be working, you might be a very young person in secondary school somewhere, whoever you are watching this video, and you haven't found your passion yet. Just wait, keep your mind open to the world, and I honestly feel it will come to you eventually. And going back to the whole education thing, you don't shy away from like life education. So racism, racist issues, don't shy away from discussions of politics, of war, how to how to pay taxes. Well, how to pay taxes if you're kind of on that wave too. Like, I'm not saying how I am, but yeah, just like that kind of education, not necessarily strictly textbook education, but that kind of education. Google is free. Like, we live in a digital age. Google is free. Education to some extent right now can be considered free, but that's like another discussion for another day with the whole racism, politics, and all that. But yeah, that's just my real talk. Let me know how you guys feel in the comments down below. Feel free to share any of your experiences with me. This is real talk. If you haven't experienced or you haven't seen any of my real talks before, I've only done one, and that was on feminism a year ago. It was a bit mad. My comment section got a bit wild, but that's the point of this. I want to open some kind of discussion, and hopefully this video will open some kind of discussion, because I would like to know what you guys think with schooling and education and its importance in society and all of that. But anyway guys, I'll see you on the next video. Until next time, catch you guys laters.